Yo, what's up guys? Yeah, I was a little bit late. Don't worry about it. I'm setting up for the podcast. No, fuck. Yo, what's up guys? How you doing, man? Just a sec guys, I need to fix my camera a little bit. How you guys doing? Wait, that's too much now. Hello, beard and human named House attached to it. Hello, hello, hello. Yeah, the podcast is starting in 10 minutes or something. I'm setting up for it just now. Need to get everything ready here. What? Which earbuds do you use? I don't use earbuds, I use headphones. These are the Logitech G Pro X Wireless. The beard looking nice, thank you dude. I woke up and the beard was like this. I was starting to feel like the G Pro supplies like the FINALMOUSE. Super expensive and all sold out. Yeah, it's the availability is pretty bad on that one. That's true, for sure. So XM1r on Cam Quick. I don't have it yet myself. I'm not sure when I'm getting it. Only one of us has it. What was I doing? Setting up Zencaster. I mean, there are leather default. Ah, okay, you mean the okay. So yeah, I use the velour earbuds. Yeah, FINALMOUSE don't deliver, in my opinion. Yeah, these are Timur. These are the velour earbuds. Yeah. I don't actually remember which I had. 300, no thanks. FiNALMOUSE ain't getting my money. Don't worry, dude. It might not be 300 bucks. We don't know the value. It might be just a troll, you know, that in-game sale value. I mean, they are saying that everybody will have this mouse at some point. So I don't know. They are talking some weird stuff, you know. I love the way House says Velour. I got no clue how you need to pronounce that. $600. I mean, if they say it's for everybody will have this mouse, I wouldn't think it's like that pricey. But I don't know. Manufacturing cost might be quite a lot though. So yeah, I need to clear my hard drive by the... Oh fuck, I'm in trouble. I'm in trouble. Okay, there is room now. Now I can actually record this podcast. That's fine. Did I miss the start? Yeah, you missed the start, but it doesn't matter, you know. The podcast hasn't started yet. There might be, by the way, there is gonna be some delay because I'm using this normal latency on this podcast stream, so there will be delay on the I won't be reacting too much on the chat while the episode is ongoing, because I'm exactly not quite sure what the episode is, what we're gonna go through about of the FINALMOUSE. So I need to focus on the podcast, you know. I think Glory is one step ahead this time. I'm sure they'll soon release a wireless model of minus. I think it will be like in... should be like Q1 next year. Imagine paying... yeah, when you got this super light for less. Yeah, but... yeah, with FINALMOUSE it's 37 grams. The tech is gonna be way worse than on the super light, I would assume. There are 3 sizes of the same. I call these different shapes because the size is different, but yeah. But they say that they have 3 different sizes. By the way, House, I repurchased the HDS and all the issues my old model are gone. Now it's a perfect small claw mouse. Still, I'm not impressed at all by the Greek god mouse gimmick. Should be opening chests while the podcast is running. Yeah, go ahead. I mean, you should listen to the podcast, not watch it. That's my opinion. Imagine if one of you... Ah, you mean we should do it. Okay, yeah. I don't have any keys left, and I'm not sure if the other guys have any. I've got like a bunch of pouches and stuff from there, but only received like 60 keys. So I'm not sure. Is there still issues with the API or something? XM1r doesn't appear to be any better than what's already on the market. It has better switches and it has some technological upgrades compared to the XM1 version 2, but yeah. XM1r on cam. I don't have the XM1r yet, dude. So sorry. You will have to riot. I bought the cheap Pro Exopilite, but I would also pay $200 for the new FINALMOUSE if it was possible to get. The XM1 is so meh, literally has no comfort grooves or shape in front of the mouse, plus it's really wide in the front. Yeah, I mean, XM1's shape is not the ultimate best shape for me either. There are only 3 sizes. Yeah, 3 sizes exactly. Yeah. 2. What? Okay, so the Air 58 one doesn't exist. No, that's fine. Yeah, I need to get some water, guys. I'll be right back. I'll take a piss and get some water. 1 minute. Back. Is the GSR SC faster than the Artisan Zero? Can't remember exactly. I think that Extra 5 GP4 is a little bit faster than the Artisan Zero though. The Artisan Zero is super boring in my opinion, but it's a consistent pad. You will take a PC. And I mean, in general, he doesn't seem to have anything better spec-wise compared to the other mice that already out there. Ah, okay. G Pro X Superlight has just been moved once again on Max Game from 27th to 15th of January. Really annoying. Yeah, I mean, Finnish retailers have the same thing, so I'm getting mine 4th of January, maybe. If he doesn't have the XM1r, why is the stream titled XM1r Impressions? It's a podcast. I'm not sure if you have listened to our podcast before, but there are 3 guys in the podcast. The podcast is about to start, and we're gonna talk about the XM1r. Is the Cooler Master M7 good for the smaller hand, and is it good for claw grip? Yeah, it's very good for... Depends how small and how thin your hands are. Zero is faster, but it has good stopping. Yeah, the Zero is not faster than the Artisan... Extra 5 GP4, but I don't remember exactly how the GSR SE is. I haven't used it in a long time. I don't have the high-end soft. We need to start the podcast now, so I will not be watching the chat too much. So yeah, just a second, guys. What's your main pad right now? I don't really have a main one. I like the mouse pad review you did. Personally, I have some cheap mouse pad I got from Amazon, and it's better than anything I've owned, especially for the price. I mean, yeah, in my opinion, value for money is extremely important in mouse pads, because some of the difference is not that massive, and some of the cheaper pads are like good enough in my opinion. A lot of the buys, FINALMOUSE support isn't actually bad. They will help you if you provide enough information about your issue. Yeah, I have no experience about FINALMOUSE support, so yeah, I can't comment too much on that. The other 2 guys have the XM1r. Yeah, exactly. What's your main pad right now? I don't really have a main pad. I already answered this, but I have to switch mouse pads so often that I would say that my main pad is most likely Endgame Gear MPC 450, but it will be a while till I get to use it again, and my main might change at that point. Didn't you guys already talk about the XM1r last stream? Yeah, but this is like an impressions, you know. One of our guys has the XM1r and has it in hand, so he's gonna test it. Yo, what's up, Sokol? How are you doing, man?
Doing well.
Yeah,
Is NBC already here?
Not yet.
Oh, okay.
I got the stream on, and there is some people asking about the XM1r. Have you tried it, by the way?
I still haven't. I mean, I have looked at it, but I have yet to touch it.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for the software to be released. It should be coming out early January, but yeah, until then, yeah, can't do too much.
Yeah, alright. Someone on Mouse Review said people were under NDA to not find anything. Yeah, the NDA is gone from the XM1r timer.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you, yeah.
Okay, give me like a minute, I'm just finishing my chips and then I'm good to go.
Yeah, it's alright. No hurries. MPC 450 and the Artisan Zero. Lord of the Pies. One is really fast, one is quite slow. I actually got an offer. Wait, what did you buy? Return G Pro Wireless. Okay. Double clicking already in 3 days. I've had 3 different G Pro Wirelesses and never had any double clicking issues. But yeah. I know a lot of people have them. Yeah, Logitech support is just really good, so yeah, easy to return stuff. Sokol, do you have a new mic, by the way?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's still as crap as ever.
It sounds better than previously, in my opinion.
Oh, okay.
Like already last time, I noticed it in the editing phase that it sounded better. I didn't have to tune it so much.
Maybe, I don't know. Yeah, someone said my voice was a bit low, and I don't know. I think it's always a bit low.
Oh yeah.
But I'm already at max volume, so
Yeah, I think that's fine. I mean, I've looked at the constant volume of us three, and it's pretty much on the same level when I tweak. Just
okay.
it needs only a little bit of tweaking, so it should be fine. And it doesn't really matter how the stream is. It's the recording is mostly the important thing. My XM1 has been double clicking. Do you think I'm able to return it to maximum? For sure, have Gaza.
Right, I'm good.
Alright. Oh,
Never eaten a bag of chips so fast in my life.
what chips were those?
Some like you know that you get these chips that are like rice based rather than like potato based.
Ah, okay. So a little healthier stuff maybe or something.
Supposedly,
Yeah.
I think. I mean, the thing is, it says they're healthier, but the bag's got to be twice as big as a normal packet of chips. I'm pretty sure it all sort of works out to be the same.
Yeah. Alright, I'll start the recording in like 10 seconds and then let's do a quick intro only and then let's talk about the FINALMOUSE thing.
Sure.
Alright guys, how are you doing? Welcome to the Triple Clip podcast, and today we're gonna check out the FINALMOUSE new mouse and maybe their game a little bit. And yeah, the hype train has been here for a while now. What have you guys followed aim guards, and what do you think about FINALMOUSE these past few days? What we've come up with?
You know what? There was a point during the keynote where the guy was shouting, and for just a moment, I genuinely believed aim gods could be quite good, because I thought this was so genius that surely they've been creating one of the best games of all time. And then to summarize my experience, would be to say I watched one of the top streamers, per se, run around a pillar chasing the enemy like trying to watch a cat or a dog chase its tail. Yeah, so it went from not sure what to expect to, oh my god, this could be amazing, to immediately like, this is still just a meme. But that's as far as the game goes anyway. I mean, some of the stuff they spoke about with the mouse actually sound like, I mean, the materials and stuff actually sounds quite good. I don't know.
The mouse looks good at least, and yeah, there are some like good ideas there, and maybe hopefully good implementations as well, but yeah, the game looks absolute trash. I mean, it's missing sort of all of the ingredients that I would want in a game. I tweeted out that there is no advanced movement like in, for example, Quake, or no tracking aim like in Quake. There is no like heavy precision kind of aim like in CS:GO, and there is no advanced mechanics like in Fortnite. So there's pretty much nothing apart from that World of Warcraft arena battle kind of thing where you need to spam abilities tactically at certain times and in certain order, you know. Did you have time to watch aim guards?
Yeah, I've watched quite a bit, and yeah, I have a certain theory as to why FINALMOUSE has been doing this whole thing, which I can, well, lay out a little bit later.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm a little bit surprised, but yeah, fun to see at least that they have something like properly. They had they had the mouse out already in the keynote, and we know pretty much everything we are gonna know before somebody gets them out for review or something. I'm not sure if they're actually giving anybody any review samples. I guess like Rocket Jump Ninja might get one if.
Yeah, actually, I would have expected him to have one already, but doesn't seem to be the case. I'm not sure whether they already have stock. Wimbo surprised.
Yeah, that's true.
But
Yeah,
yeah, it'll still take a couple of days.
yeah. There seems to be a few issues with the lottery machine. You know, people have been getting like the mice from there, but when they try to purchase them, it says out of stock and stuff like that. But I guess all of those will be fixed at some point. But
Yeah, I don't know. Apparently, there is a limited amount of units allotted for those Twitch drops, and that amount has already been used up. And well, it's unclear whether those that apparently won one of the mice actually will get it at some point. At least until now, haven't seen really any sort of statement regarding whether that will be the case.
okay, yeah. Well, let's jump right into the technical details that we now got from the mouse. What should we start with? Sokol, you can decide since you know most likely the most about it.
Yeah, I mean, I have. There have been, of course, during the keynote, there have been a couple of slides, and the I don't know who that guy shouting throughout the keynote was. I think it's the Twitter guy.
It's a final boy, isn't it?
Probably, yeah, Final Boy or Final King, or I don't know what's his name. But maybe the Twitter guy and the shouting guy are the same person, and maybe that person is also the Instagram guy, and possibly also the CEO. I don't know, but yeah. Anyway, the other guy, Kevin, is actually the lead technical engineer from FINALMOUSE, which I mean, he's only been hired, I think, if I remember correctly, in June, and apparently specifically for that mouse. So yeah, but he didn't get to say too much about the mouse. Um, anyway, the specifications. So there have been a couple of claims that were made in that keynote, and yeah, just to touch on some. So they claim they're using a next gen Nordic RF. So what they're likely referring to is the MCU they're using for the mouse, which is from Nordic, and I don't know which one it is. It's said to be the best or the most recent, but the thing is, a lot of wireless mice are using those Nordic chipsets, and yet at the same time, I mean, for example, the Wireless Wireless, I think, is also using Nordic, and yet the latency isn't as good as Razer or Logitech. So yeah, just the idea that using Nordic is somehow special or sets it apart from other mice or guarantees excellent performance I think is misleading, at least. So yeah, the Nordic stuff isn't anything special, unless it's, I don't know, something unique, but I have serious doubts that it's something custom. So the next claim is that the end-to-end latency, and I think it's referring to overall motion latency. So basically, when you move the mouse, how long does it take till that movement is registered and visible in-game? And the claim is that the FINALMOUSE is faster than any other wired or wireless mouse. And yeah, I'm not sure how that could be achieved, just based on the fact that if we look at Razer, they have incredibly low wireless latency. They have incredibly low sensor latency, so their overall latency is incredibly low. And most importantly, they have motion sync, which ensures that the sensor data is read right before a USB pole arrives. And this basically makes sure that latency is as low as it can be. And at the same time, there isn't any mention of something like that from FINALMOUSE. So just based on that, it's very, very unlikely that FINALMOUSE would be able to beat Razer Wireless. And of course, it's even less likely that they beat wired, simply because all other things being equal, a wired Razer mouse would beat anything, pretty much. Especially if we look at 8,000 hertz polling. But even if we compare 1,000 hertz to 1,000 hertz, I don't think it's happening. There's no way really that FINALMOUSE is faster than anything else. Yeah, and that of course includes click latency. The claim is that they have faster click latency than any other mouse as well. And it's explicitly mentioned that they have debounce 2 ms, 2 milliseconds. And yeah, I mean, Razer with their optical switches, they don't have any debounce. So again, just comparing those two, it's quite obvious that that claim again is most likely, or rather it is demonstrably false. And I mean, we have even the Model O Wireless recently has gotten a firmware update which sets debounce to 0, and of course 0 is less than 2 ms. So that alone basically falsifies that claim as well. And lastly, we have the claim that for the new FINALMOUSE, they have invented a technology they call TrueSync, which is supposed to, I mean, they're not really clear what it's supposed to do. I assume that it refers to syncing wireless communication from the mouse to the USB receiver. So whatever is happening between the mouse and the receiver is in sync. They claim no other mouse so far has achieved that. And they're the first to do it. But the truth is, Logitech has been doing this for years, at least since the G Pro Wireless. Razer has been doing it for years, at least since the Papa Ultimate. And in fact, even several OEM wireless solutions are capable of doing that, including the Model O Wireless. So, yeah, I mean, that is another claim that I would classify as demonstrably false. So what we have is a lot of claims that are either misleading or plain wrong, or just not very meaningful, like the claim that packets are reported in microseconds. I mean, what does it mean? 999 microseconds, which would be the same thing as 1 millisecond, I don't know. But either way, purely looking at the specs of the mouse, like the internals, it's nothing special, at least from what I can tell. We don't know really what the sensor is, but just based on the sensor being 16-pin and having integrated LED, I would strongly suspect it's a 3370 and therefore nothing special either. I mean, we have quite a few 3370 mice coming out already or already released. So it's yeah, rather ordinary sensor as well. So just to sum it up, if we purely look at the internals, it's a rather mundane mouse, I believe.
Yeah, it's a weird one for me because I mean, let's start from my own personal experience. I've had streams open for like 12 hours now, and I've unlocked lots of keys and they've not been delivered to my account. So I'm sure they're real, but for me, they're obviously not. The fact that you're potentially buying this game to maybe have a chance at getting the mouse that is also possibly not delivering on all of the stuff they are saying, it's crazy to me that it's actually something you can do. It's not like a shoe, a football shoe, right? A football boot, whatever you want to say, where different materials and different designs, you can talk about how that might be better and it can all be applicable. And this is this technology with actual numbers that will be demonstrably slower in a lot of ways. So it's crazy to me that they can do this, and there's probably going to be no repercussions. However, at the same time, I still want to commend FINALMOUSE because the reason why we have these super ultra lightweight mice is ultimately because of the ultralight to start with. We wouldn't have the super light without it. I wouldn't have the Death Adder V2 Pro without it. Wouldn't have the MM710. I mean, love or hate holes, they are the reason why we're at the point where we are today. Much like why Logitech is the reason in many ways why the 3360 has ultimately been used in so many mice, because their 3366 was just out of this world at the time. It's what we all wanted. So crazy to me. I hope that it can live up to some of those expectations for sure.
Yeah, there are also like it's 37 grams by their specification. I've heard some rumors it's without the battery, but I don't know. And then there is that, I didn't find it when I was looking through these videos and clips before the podcast, but they mentioned something about, the sort of the magnesium alloy top shell being a Faraday cage, and the bottom part of the shell is, bottom part of the mouse is some, I don't remember the material, but it's some material that easily lets the signal out, and that sort of boosts the speed of the signal or something. That was
what happens if you use a mouse pad that is like metal or magnesium?
Yeah, that would be interesting.
Weird.
And yeah, they also had that. They mentioned that their battery life should be like on average use about 1 to 2 months. Says here with the in one of the slides. Not sure.
Yeah, I mean the battery life claims like another area of misleading statements, because of course that claim about 10 months, it basically just refers to not touching the mouse, just having it on the desk and not even touching the desk because it could register some movement. So of course in that mode any wireless mouse that isn't utter crap would be able to show such battery life. And the 1 to 2 month claim is it's just, I think it's just meaningless, because what does it mean? Does it mean 24 hours a day and basically full month of playing, like all the hours? Or does it just mean I'm playing, I don't know, 50 minutes every day, and then I get 2 months of battery life? It's unclear, and I think it's, well, probably, or at least possibly intentionally misleading, or at least just it basically doesn't say anything. The only meaningful way to indicate battery life is just to give the hours and not days or months or years or whatever.
Yeah, it probably means when you have your other FINALMOUSE plugged in and the wireless one is just off to the side, it will still work 2 months later because it's not been used. I have no idea.
Yeah. They've had some weird claims, and yeah, they like to build hype, so I'm not too surprised
Yeah, I mean,
about.
that's the thing, right? Because those claims, unless proven otherwise, they just are there, and people who maybe aren't really well informed, not that into the technical side of things, might just believe it. They don't know better. Maybe they're a bit younger as well, a bit more gullible, and they just believe those claims. And so far, with no reviews being out, it's impossible to verify or falsify anything.
Absolutely. I mean, look at the views people were getting streaming aim guards, like 12, 13, upwards of 40,000. And a lot of these streamers are talking positively about both the game and also the mouse that they've not yet got. So it's very, there's a point where it goes from being just a meme to being something more serious. And I think it's already past that barrier now, since people are actually spending money before anything is anywhere near going to be in their hands.
Yeah. What do you think about the FileMouse has sort of, how long has it been that they have had this sort of, they hype up the product, like they make up these claims that are not exactly true, but people still you know, buy the mouse. Has it been since Air 58, or was it Ultralight 2 that started this? Because I started following FileMouse about before Ultralight 2, you know, was announced.
Yeah, I mean, it's some sort of psychological mechanism at play, because you always have these claims. You had the original Ultralight, and the scroll wheel broke in, I don't know, 2 minutes after using the mouse. And for the next release, they said, all right, we fixed it. And people got their Ultralight Phantom, and again, it broke within 2 microseconds. So then came out, I don't know, what was the next? Air 58. And again, the claim, we fixed the scroll wheel. It's incredibly strong and so on. And yeah, two days after receiving the shipping notification, it was already broken even before arriving at the doorstep. So, and people just, they hear those claims and they think, all right, so the last, I don't know, 2, 3 times, it wasn't fixed, but maybe this time it actually gets fixed. And it's just, it's some sort of, it's a mix between hope and, I don't know, masochism, or something like that, to give them yet another chance to fix those things without really having any reason to believe it would be better. I mean, again, it might be actually fixed now. We haven't seen any people using the mouse yet, but chances are again that the scroll wheel is terrible. We just don't know.
Was Ultralight 2? I'm not sure if it had any scroll wheel issues. At least mine didn't have any scroll wheel issues. But
Well, apparently it was better at least than 58, but yeah, I've seen reports of people having scroll wheel issues like 2 or 3 months after getting the mouse. So yeah, I mean, it appears to be improved, but it's just another of those claims that are just very difficult to confirm or verify at any point before actually having the mouse and having used it for a couple of months at least.
yeah. What do you guys think about the aesthetics of the mice?
Actually, I don't mind them. I thought the first time I saw them, I thought they looked quite pretty. Again, I prefer something plain, and I don't like the horizontal line that goes straight down the middle, but I kind of like the design of the buttons, and I think the colors are nice. If I wanted to use something that wasn't black, I'd happily welcome it. And the metal, if it actually performs to what they're saying, I think looks pretty neat as well. So I don't mind so much on the visuals. I will say my opinion of it significantly decreased when I saw the RGB lighting turn on for the battery life, but that could just be whilst it's plugged in and charging, so you know what it's at. But yeah, visually I don't mind it. I mean, again, it's not my shape. I'm an ergo guy, but still, visually, I was okay with it.
How about you, Psogen?
Yeah, I think the aesthetic and the materials are actually quite impressive, and of course the weight, no matter how it's achieved, or I don't know, maybe it's not entirely accurate. We've had that with the Air 58, which actually, if you weighed it, came out at, I don't know, 62 or 63. Maybe this will be not 37, but rather, I don't know, maybe it's 42, but no matter what, it's still incredibly light. And from what I've seen, the walls, the side walls and everything are indeed impressively thin, and at the same time they seem very robust and quite sustainable in terms of long-term usage. So yeah, in that respect, I'm quite impressed actually.
Yeah, myself, I'm not a big fan of the aesthetic. I mean, the white one looks alright, but yeah, I like the innovation on the top shell, the magnesium alloy and the things. I'm not sure how quite the click feeling is gonna be on this one with the metal shell. I mean, how rough do the clicks feel? Hard to say how hard the button is to actuate, but yeah, interesting things. And I don't know if you guys saw, at least Huddled has the video on YouTube about the Instagram live from FINALMOUSE, where they actually open up the mouse and he squeezes the final boy squeezes the top shell without the bottom shell being attached to the mouse, and he can, it doesn't flex or anything. I don't know how much he used of force, but not that much, but still sort of impressive that there was no flex whatsoever when there is no bottom shell, at all. But yeah, this was sort of what I was expecting. I mean, in that Instagram live, there was also he also mentioned talked about the TrueSync, which was quite different from what was mentioned in the slides. Let's check out the slide. So in the slide, basically, I think it mentioned that. So I think this sort of, it mentions most importantly fully in sync TrueSync at 1 millisecond with the USB, something no other wireless mouse has been able to achieve. So this sort of makes me think that it's something similar that Razer has done. But in the Instagram, what you mentioned earlier, Sokol, but what in the Instagram live what they mentioned is that it would be real time. It would be in sync real time with your system. That was
okay.
I heard something like that mentioned, and
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
maybe
maybe he has no clue about the inner workings of his own mouse. That's
yeah.
possible at least, but either way, I mean there aren't that many possibilities or that many things that could be synced realistically. So I'm pretty sure it just refers to the wireless syncing.
Yeah, most likely, yeah. So, what were your guys' expectations? Before all of this stuff was released, were you expecting a top tier, or actually we don't really know yet. So, are you expecting a top tier mouse, or are you expecting a good mouse that sort of performs not maybe as well as Logitech or Razer wireless, but at the same level as the SteelSeries or Glorious wireless maybe?
Yeah, I think it'd be pretty impossible to make a bad mouse if you put aside the potential mouse wheel issue that may or may not have been fixed. Assuming there's no flex on the sides that would annoy me, I think they're going to put out a pretty good mouse. All things considered. I mean, there's so many people playing with the ultralight. My only reluctance is the fact that if you can't buy it anymore, why on earth would you choose to main it? Because as soon as it breaks, you're kind of screwed, and that's going to mess you up if you're at a tournament or something like that. But I don't see a world where it can be horrible. I just don't think it's going to be as good as it's suggested to be by them.
Yeah, I think it probably will be a good mouse, but of course the main problem isn't whether the mouse is good or not. Rather, it's the problem, how do I get it? And there are apparently not that many options. I mean, if we exclude the Twitch drop stuff, you can either play aim guards, or you can buy it from a scalper from eBay, who sells it for, I don't know, 3,000 USD or something. And the lack of purchasing options, I think, is the real problem, because if you cannot really buy the mouse, what's the point? Might as well not release it, because if it's just down to playing aim guards, it's not really realistic to well, try and get the mouse. I mean, maybe you will be able to get the necessary rank, but maybe you won't. And in that case, you need to look for another mouse, a different one, or buy it from eBay, which is ridiculous. So what I think is, and what I believe is the entire intention behind this sort of business tactic. Basically, if we look at last year's Ultralight 2 release, at least my impression was that the hype wasn't as great compared to Air 58, for example. And I mean, we've seen stock lasting, even from FINALMOUSE, lasting for several weeks. And I think even in June or maybe even July, you could still regularly buy the Ultralight 2 from Max Gaming without many issues. And even resale prices are pretty close to the original retail price. So I think FINALMOUSE realized that those hype beast drop events just don't generate the same amount of attention anymore. And instead of actually releasing something and selling it, they decided, all right, well, we'll create those mice that are incredibly expensive to produce and which can only be produced in very limited numbers. Maybe they can, I mean, in 6 months, they can produce something like 5,000 maybe, or even less, which of course isn't really enough to do a regular release, especially if it's magnesium alloy and the whole manufacturing and everything. They would have to sell it for a lot of money, maybe even actually 300 US dollars. So instead of doing that, they said, okay, well, we'll cook up this horrible game and sell that instead and create constant revenue out of it, because nobody, of course, nobody would actually pay 30 USD for that game if it weren't for that mouse he could potentially get for free. And so what they'll do is use the hype generated by this magnesium alloy mouse and just have it like that maybe for, I don't know, 6 months, 8 months, and then they can release a regular ABS plastic version of that mouse, which is just exactly the same mouse, just instead of magnesium alloy, they use ABS plastic. And instead of, I don't know, 40 gram, it will be 60 gram. So it will be a rather mundane mouse. But since they've been giving away the magnesium alloy mouse for allegedly $300 of worth for many months beforehand, people will say, I couldn't get it through AimGods. Now I'll try to buy it regularly, and if the price is right, I'll just get it. Basically, they try to ride on that sort of demand created by the artificial scarcity of the magnesium alloy mouse. And by pretending that the magnesium alloy mouse is actually worth 300 USD, they can sell their rather mundane ABS plastic mouse for something like, I don't know, 200 or maybe even 250. And people will still buy it just because they can buy it for the first time ever, and because compared to 300, 200 seems reasonable. So this whole AimGods and magnesium alloy scheme, I think, is just their attempt to normalize that sort of price for a mouse, that they can actually charge 200 US dollars for a wireless mouse that otherwise would never be worth that much. I mean, it's possible that I'm completely off base and nothing like that will happen. But just based on what I believe how FINALMOUSE operates, I think that is the most likely scenario.
Yeah, I'm not like that familiar with FINALMOUSE, as I've only been following them properly for like about maybe a year and a half, about 2 years, but yeah, some good points for you. I think that I think definitely the mouse will be like, it will be a good mouse. It will most likely not have the best wireless tech available, but you know, there are a lot of people who like the Ultralight 2 shape. There are a lot of people who like the F58 shape. And then there are a massive amount of people who would want something in between. And apparently they have these two sizes already available. That's the Ultralight 2 shape and the size, and then the slightly larger size. But somebody commented on the chat that there is no A58 size yet available. So there should be like a size, a shape for most people that they can use and they would really, really like. And I think one of their strategy might be that, yeah, they will. I'm not sure how long this game will survive. I mean, we should maybe in 2 weeks we should see some, you know, decrease in player base, like quite a bit of decrease in player base. I think the season 1 lasts 70 days. So, and after that season, some people, I don't remember the percentage, but yeah, the best players will get the mouse for free. I suspect that after that, if there is not enough players, they will maybe, you know, start selling them at some point. I mean, the key would be to get the mouse to players like some professional players who they know that love the shape, so they will create hype for the mouse, and you know, if they will create enough hype for the mouse, then people will definitely pay 300 bucks for this one. But they can't send it, for example, someone like Sokol who would actually, you know, run some tests and find out that, yeah, this mouse is maybe just not as good as people have FINALMOUSE mentioned. So they want to keep the hype up. For example, there are some very, very like well followed people in Valorant and CSGO that have this mouse, are using the Ultralight 2, and most likely will, you know, move on to this mouse. So those are the kind of people they would want to use the mouse and to generate hype around it and get those, you know, those younger Fortnite players and stuff like that, you know, in there as well, who would buy the mouse, and then after that much more people would get it. But that's how I would see it. Yeah, all speculation, so I've got no clue how it's actually gonna go down.
Yeah, I mean, if they would sell the magnesium alloy version regularly, it would just, I think it would not be really feasible, because they can't provide the numbers to meet demand, and I think they just can't sell them for 300, because outside of the really big FINALMOUSE fans, who actually pays 300 bucks for a mouse? I mean, there are people paying that much for a 58 already, but I think that sort of audience is very limited, and it's much more likely that at some point we'll see the ABS plastic version, and that one can be produced in huge numbers and still sold for, I don't know, maybe 200, and so of course the margin will be much larger for them.
Yeah, that could happen. Yeah, what I don't I'm not expecting at all for them to, you know, get mass stock for the magnesium alloy mouse, but I would talk about, you know, drop shipping the product, you know, some small numbers and get you know, sales from there. But I've got no clue what the production costs could be for a product like this.
So what happens? I mean, credit where it's due. I've heard good things actually about FINALMOUSE support. One of my friends, Jake, who I play games with regularly, or used to, he kept getting replacement FINALMOUSEs every time his broke. my concern is if this is so limited, like at least this version of it, then you've sunk 150 hours into Aim Gods. You may have bought the game as well, and then you've got the mouse. How do they replace it? What happens there? Is it a 2-year warranty? Is it a 1-year warranty? It's even that is a question we don't have an answer to.
Yeah, there are other questions. For example, I think the free shipping is only covered for the US. So anybody located outside of USA will probably have to, I don't know, use forwarding services or something like that. Not sure how that would be realized.
Yeah, yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, I don't have much more to add, to be honest, on the final mouse.
Yeah, same here. Not that much that I had something I was gonna say, but again I blacked out. Yeah, I mean,
we could talk a little bit about the stuff we do know, since the endgame XM1r, for example, has now been actually announced and unveiled with specifications. The launch date was 17th of December, if I remember right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Joe, do you want me to start, or do you want to go into that?
I think
talk about specs.
I think we already talked about the specs. So let's last episode I think. So I think we would get like your first impressions would be good.
Sure. Well, okay. So first up, the sample that I've got, it's not final release. It has all the right things. So it's got the 8.0 switches. It has the old side buttons rather than the new side buttons, but it does have that brand new sensor. I've not got the software yet. That's still in development. So it's not a final impressions of the device that everyone would be buying. And also I should say that, again, it's not my number one shape, but I think if it was an ergo, like adjusted to be an ergo mouse, it could be my favorite. But in terms of like actual performance, it is very, very good. The clicks are not final tolerance, but they are super snappy. The sensor, I haven't got any of Pasergo's testing methods down to a T or anything, but there's something about the sensor that feels snappy. I don't know if it's because the weight is lower than my day-to-day Death Adder V2 Pro, but it feels very, very quick. Again, it doesn't have 8,000 hertz polling rate like Razer, but I don't think that's really a big deal for 95%, maybe even 99% of people out there. The cable to me is good. It looks gorgeous. I've got the dark reflex version. Very, very glossy. I think I would prefer, is it the dark frost? The one that's somewhere in between if I was buying myself, but big fan of glossy mice, very grippy. The only thing that I don't really like about the mouse is the middle click, and that's kind of similar to what it was on the XM1, and it's similar to like a Logitech G403 or G703 click. It's quite heavy to push in. But apart from that, it's everything the XM1 white was, and then some. I didn't try the RGB version, so I can't comment on that. But going from the white version to this version, there is absolutely no way in hell you would buy the other versions when this comes to market. It sounds like I'm, I don't know, over the top here, but it's, we thought like, where could they go from the XM1 white? And I think now they've checked every box.
Do you know whether the middle scroll click is final retail?
I can have a look whilst I would probably have to bring up the little document they said. The only thing I remember was the side buttons are not final and the primary clicks are not final tolerances. So the middle click I'm not sure on. I'll see if I can find it out now.
It's interesting because I know that, I mean, the initial versions of the XM1 all had rather heavy scroll click, and apparently people complained about it as well. And for the XM1 RGB, there's been a new switch used from Panasonic, which I think, I mean, it was a lot lighter, but at the same time, it was a bit weird in terms of click feel. Didn't feel entirely right. And yeah, I'm just curious whether they basically went back to the old one or something similar, or yeah, just how the final Switch would look like.
Yeah, it doesn't say anything about mouse wheel. I mean, again, because it's a sample, I don't want to give 100% until we get the final retail ones, but the mouse wheel was one thing they didn't mention.
Is there any like date set for the, you know, when they actually gonna sell the mouse?
I assume January, but
yeah.
I don't know.
I've seen on the official side, I think it should be tomorrow, allegedly, but yeah, not sure whether that is indeed accurate.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've seen quite many people receive them in the past few days, but yeah, I still haven't got mine, so I'm not sure. Not sure when I'm gonna get mine, but yeah, it's sort of, it's a little bit, you know, irritating that, of course, that it's a, you know, pre-release sample, but there are already, you know, like production samples available, like if it's tomorrow. So yeah.
To be honest, given the pandemic, trying to sacrificing production samples for a reviewer, it's got to be a pretty big decision in itself, I would imagine.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, like I would just be happy enough, you know, to receive a production sample, you know, later, to be honest.
So it says now availability mid-January. So yeah, not sure when those retail samples will surface.
Yeah.
But I do like, for example, on the bottom of the mouse, you've got the 4 individual feet, and it's also shaped in a way that you can put on the big feet, which came in my box. I assume it will be retail as well. And I like that one of the things that is going to be present in the software, and I hope I'm not overstepping here, but is angle snapping, which, as you know, on every single podcast, I've been asking for on a Death Adder version of Synapse in future to give it a go. So I'm looking forward to that. And I don't think angle snapping was in the previous XM1 software. I could be wrong, but nice to see it.
I think
yeah,
it was
not entirely. Sorry, excuse me. Go ahead.
Wasn't there like ripple control, and that was angle snapping? I remember this ripple control, but I'm not 100% sure.
Ripple control was smoothing, I believe.
Ah, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I think I'm not sure whether the 3389 has natively the option to enable angle snapping, and whether it just wasn't exposed in the software. But I think the 3370 does have native angle snapping features, and maybe it is just exposed now in the software and yeah, made available that way.
All right. Yeah, I also what you mentioned, NVC, about the feet. I mean, I really like the XM1r RGB feet. The glide was superb for me. I think those are one of the best stock feet available. So I do like this design that you can use those if you want to.
Yeah, glide is perfect on my GSR. There's no scratching, nothing. The only limiting factor to the mouse really is ultimately it's not the shape. To me, the XM1 with its pincer design and sort of like the back end reminds me of like if the G303 didn't get super crazy with the diamond shape, you would probably end up with something more like the XM1. I know why a lot of people like it as well, because it's a very controllable mouse, but just one of those ones where I don't think it's ever going to be for me, so praying for an Ergo in future.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the smaller version, and I mean if they make something that's pretty much like the Xtrfy M42 size, but yeah, the XM1 shape, which is then again very close to the M42 with that more pronounced hump. But I would really like to test something like that out. But I think it's sort of confirmed that there will be a mini version next year, and also a wireless one next year. the Endgame Gear app has been talking in the Discord apparently. I haven't seen it myself, but people in my streams and on my videos have been commenting that stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean the wireless version, of course, would make sense just based on the 3370 sensor, and I think basically their strategy is to now have a basically finalized version of the XM1 base, basically, that they can use for other shapes. It will be rather easy to adjust for other shapes, and they now also have their own firmware and software and everything, so overall allows them to more easily basically venture out and do additional and different shapes.
Well, that's it, and I genuinely think, I mean, you look what they're doing with the analog switches and how they're trying to create unique things with their mouse. I genuinely think they're one of the few companies that could actually do it and create a awesome wireless mouse. And I really, really hope if they do go that route next year that they deliver. And then again, give me an ergo.
Yeah, I mean, you can pretty much expect good things from them. They haven't failed at all, like in my opinion, until now. Their first mouse was already like pretty great, so yeah. Nice to have them also, a couple of guys from there, Johnny R and Freak, in our podcast like in January as guests. So yeah, will be interesting to discuss some of the future stuff that they maybe can, you know, talk about. But yeah, that's at least pretty much everything from my side. I mean, I don't have anything much to say about the mouse because I don't have it yet, but do you guys have any other comments you want to make about the XM1r or the new legendary FINALMOUSE products?
I don't think I've got anything on the top of my head. Again, just looking forward to trying the software on the XM1r. I was thinking about putting a video up on it now with my super initial impressions, but I'm going to give it a bit more time with it to come to a final decision on everything about it. Bit off topic. I got the G703 this week, like a year after it's obviously been released and everything has been out. So first time using Logitech Lightspeed on a mouse, I think. I don't think the G403 originally had the Lightspeed name. Pretty sure this is the first time I'm using one. So I enjoyed my first day of using that mouse. And it's nice in a way, I think, to kind of unify everything on my desk because I'm using a Logitech keyboard at the moment. So we'll see if I can get used to the weight. It seems pretty heavy out the box. I think I've become accustomed to all these lightweight mice now. It's hard to go back. I was crazy about a year ago. Someone told me 100-gram mouse, is that fine for you? I would have said yes. Now I'm like, 80 please. So need a bit more time with it.
Yeah. How about you, Ogle?
Yeah, I don't know. I have a couple of 140-gram mice to review, and so yeah, compared to that, 100-gram is featherweight.
Wait, was that forced on you, or did you decide to review?
Yeah, I just I don't know. It was can't even remember. I think it was in August or September. I just said, go ahead, send me the mice, because I didn't have that many samples at the time. I said, why not? And they arrived, I don't know, 2-3 months later. And yeah, I do those now, and then I'll proceed with the other stuff.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't have much to say about the FINALMOUSE legendary mouse anymore. One thing that I saw in the chat at some point is that yeah, finally FINALMOUSE is gonna get 1000 Hz in their mouse, so that's a positive at least. The
Yeah, I
37.
mean, you could use the Dream Machine software for years, of
Yeah.
course, to set it to 1000. But at least, I mean, it's always been funny to me the reasoning they gave that pro players prefer 500 hertz, and therefore they don't provide the option to use 1000. And apparently that reasoning is no longer valid and
Yeah.
no longer applies. I don't know. Maybe
Yeah.
pro players all changed their mind ahead of the release of the new Final Mouse. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's sort of, CSGO players have been using 500 Hz for a long time because the input implementation at least used to be pretty bad in that game, so it doesn't really matter do you have 500 Hz or 1000 Hz, don't really notice much difference in there. But yeah, if you play a modern game, like Valorant, Diabolical, even Quake Champions, is nowadays CS:GO has a better input implementation, as far as I know. But I think yeah, people are switching more to the 1000 hertz now, finally at least, and not having that option is just is weird these days. I would say when we almost have 8000 hertz mice on the market.
I am curious about 8000 hertz because it wasn't long ago that we received our samples and it didn't work in a lot of games. So I know Razer were working with devs. I have to assume that they had to go ahead with a few of them because now it's coming out. I mean, you can always change the polling rate right to 1000 in games that don't support it, but relatively quick turnaround. So fingers crossed, I guess.
Yeah, I'm actually interested. When did you get those prototypes? How many months ago? Was it 2 months already, or how long?
I think it was actually, yeah, it was either August or September, somewhere around that.
Okay, so
Yeah.
NVC, you had the same sort of date about, or
Yeah, about a few weeks after, maybe a month after.
yeah, because
I think.
Yeah, I heard about it right after the press release, or during the press release embargo time, So I asked them that could I get a sample. So mine came like last month, I think, maybe earlier, and I remember I was warned that some games like Valorant wouldn't go very well with 8000 hertz, but when I got the mouse, Valorant worked perfectly with that polling rate. So I think yeah. Some changes have been done to the games or something, because yeah, I had no problems with Quake, Diabolical, Quake Champions. CS:GO, Quake, Diabolical, and Valorant. None of those had any issues. But yeah, there still must be some games that will have, of course, problems. But yeah, that's pretty much it. One more thing, people are talking about weight on the chat. So yeah, somebody mentioned that in 2022 there will be a 40-gram G Pro wireless. But so what do you think? Like, what is the lowest weight that is? What's like the sweet spot for you guys? And low, if the weight is lower, does it matter to you anymore from the sweet spot?
For me, if it's too high, it's a problem now. Anything below 90 I can get used to. I would like to try the super light in future. What's that, 60 grams? I can't imagine I'd ever want anything less than that, because the XM1 is definitely at the point where I don't want to go any lower in my head. So I think for me it's more about the size than the weight below a certain point. Like if the mouse is too small, it can be stupidly light and I'm still not going to hit with it. The mouse can be big and light and I'll be fine. So
yeah. How about you, Psogol?
Yeah, I think it's also a matter of how big is the mouse, how good are the feet, how flexible or irritating is the cable. Because, I mean, if you have a super light mouse and poor feet and somewhat stiff cable, it'll feel horrible. And a mouse that is, I don't know, weighs 20 or 30 gram more, but has great feet and great cable and so on, and is huge, will feel much better despite being way heavier. So for me personally, I can't really use anything above, I would say, 110, maybe 120. But yeah, again, it depends. Some heavy mice are easy to pick up and reposition, and others are much more difficult. And even something weighing 100 gram can be annoying in that case. And as far as the lower end goes, I mean the lightest I have tried personally so far, I think was the Cooler Master MM720, which was around 50 gram, and I didn't have any trouble with the weight. It was just the shape that was impossible to use. So yeah, I think 40 gram maybe is still usable if everything else is on point. But personally, I don't think there is any actual gain in terms of in-game performance. I think something like 70 gram, I don't know, 65 is plenty light, and going even lower and lower is just rapidly approaching a point of diminishing returns.
Yeah, I myself have noticed sort of similar things, that if a mouse is sort of a medium to large, then that 70 gram is, good. And any lower, it doesn't really matter that much, as long as, you can keep the weight balance sort of at least semi-okay. For a small mouse, I've noticed that the XM1r, for example, I think it's 59 grams, 60 grams, that's very good weight for a smaller, a sort of small to medium sized mouse. And yeah, I have the HSK, which weighs, I think it was like 39 grams or something. It's of course a super small mouse, but it could be like 50 grams and it would be the same result regarding in-game performance for me. It's other things than the weight that will ruin it. For example, the cable is too thick and unflexible, for such a low weight and small mouse. But yeah, I have the same similar kind of things as you guys, it seems. So weight under at some point, weight starts to be a non-factor sort of. But yeah, it's been quite a long episode again, 1 hour 25 minutes. So I guess we could finish this one up. Yeah, so if you guys are listening on the podcast on Spotify or on my YouTube channel, you pretty much know where to find me. You can find NVC on YouTube. His channel name is just NVC, and he has the same name on Twitch and Twitter. And Psogul's reviews you can read on Tech Power Up, and also on Reddit. His username is psogul. So yeah, go check them out. He's definitely some good technical reviews, and he's pretty much the only one that does good click latency and motion delay tests for mice. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you for listening, and thank you for joining me, and see you on the next episode. Okay, yeah,
Cool.
That's it, yeah.
How long did it run for in the end, does it say?
1 hour 25 minutes.
Oh, Jesus.
Wait.
Wait.
Sorry.
Right?
Actually,
You were
yeah.
live before.
That's true. It's 1 hour 6 minutes. 1 hour 6 minutes is the
Okay.
yeah.
That's not so bad.
Yeah, it's.
Is that the last one we're doing before New Year, or was there another one?
I mean, we could do one next week. I mean, if you don't have any topics, Sirius said that he could do record an episode any Tuesday.
Sure.
So
yeah.
we could do it. I mean, it would be extremely interesting, at least for the.
We did our top 5 mice before, right? Should we make a topic ask maybe would Sirius be able to say what his top mice are? Because we could tell him to prepare a list if he wanted.
Yeah, I think he should be able. He mentioned that he can talk about other products than Logitech products. But I think with him we would want to talk a lot about, you know, of course, mice and with what kind of mice he prefers and what is important, but also about aiming and aim training. And yeah, I think, yeah, it would be interesting. I mean, I don't know him at all, so it would be interesting to know that according to recent tweets I've seen that he's not like, you know, initially I thought when I heard his name by a couple of followers of mine that he was like, you know, mainly aim training, you know, and stuff like that, but it's, you know, sort of his sidekick that he sort of prefers aiming in a real game rather than aiming in an aim trainer. So yeah, things like that would be interesting, like how much does he value, you know, Kovac scores and stuff like that.
Sure. Well, I could do 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. Any of those days is fine for me.
Yeah, I think
26 to 31st.
Yeah, I think it's yeah, actually it could be next weekend also. I'll contact him, but I think 29th would be all right for him. Or did you say you were available the 29th?
29 is fine for me, all the way up to the 31st.
How about you, Psoko?
Yeah, it would be fine.
Yeah, and we also need to figure out that hopefully there is still, you know, those limits are not there because of COVID, so we can do it all of us, you know, in the call and not, because the maximum used to be at least at some point 3, but yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely more at the moment.
Yeah, should be, yeah. And we can, of course, we can do it in Discord if it doesn't work out on Zencaster. The quality will be worse, but I don't think it will matter too much.
Oh yeah, no, it still says unlimited guests and recording time, so we're good.
Ah, okay, yeah, good. Yeah, all right. Yeah, let's talk a little bit more about that on Discord and see. I'll contact. What time would be? Are you working next week? Both of you?
Yeah, I'll be working, so just after same as today. After 6 UTC is fine for me.
Okay, yeah. And then, yeah, we can go more into depth at what you would want to talk about this series, and we can make sort of like a general kind of list of things that we want to talk about. But
Sure.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit more about that on the weekend or something, or tomorrow on Discord. And yeah, Merry Christmas, by the way, guys. It's soon here.
Happy holidays.
Yeah,
Happy
exactly.
holidays, Merry Christmas, all of that.
Yeah.
Alright guys, cool. We'll chat on Discord then, alright?
All right, yeah.
Alright, enjoy your evenings.
Yeah, you too. Yeah. Bye.
Bye.
All right, chat. That was it. I'm not sure how the delay is. There should be quite a bit of delay. Because I'm using the stream latency set on normal, so the quality should be better for you, but there should be more delay on the stream. I'm shutting down the stream in a bit, but I'll check out if there is some questions or something. Yo, what's up, Jazzin Player? How are you enjoying your zero gravity? Dense dust is literally useless. What does dense do? What are you talking about, Uwe? He transfers almost none to Valorant. Ah, okay. What you mean? What he's doing in aim trainers? Okay, yeah. I mean, yeah. I guess he does those for grinding purposes. You know, trying to get good scores or something. Wait, it's... Oh, yeah, tomorrow is... Oh, shit. I still don't have my keys, come on. Have you guys gotten your keys yet? Curiosity mentioned something about keys just a few minutes ago. I speedrun through all the keys. How many keys did you get? If you're still here. Keys are gone. No. Okay. RIP keys. I will not touch anything that has to do with FINALMOUSE. I'm that serious. They have capped them to the first 30. What? Really? Holy. I have 3 keys, but they don't display. Yeah, I've got no clue how many I have, but yeah, doesn't display me either. And any keys you are waiting on are just gone. Ah, okay, okay. Nice, nice, nice. Thank you, FINALMOUSE. Thank you for the keys. Thank you. Well, to be honest, I just hope somebody, you know, somebody from Finland that I know gets it, and I can rent it from them for... I could rent it, you know, for like 100 euros for a week or 2, and just send it back to them. Me and my buddy tested on 7 accounts. Ah, okay, okay. Yeah, I guess the only way to do it is just create a multiple amount of accounts and, you know, get the 30. But yeah, way too much work for me. I'm not gonna do it. Okay, Carrot, yeah. Yeah. My model low wireless review is pretty much ready. I mean, the more I've played with it, the more the better I perform. By the way, guys, I'm gonna show you something. Just a second from the review. So I'm interested in, like, would you want to see more kills from Quake? So yeah, let's see where those are. I'll disable the sound so you don't hear me speaking too much. Like, which games would you want to see highlights from? Where are the Quake kills? I think they are last kills here. Yeah. Because I only played duel in Quake, so all these the kills here are like, they require aim, but they are like in pressure situations. So I don't want to go to Instagip or anything like that, or Clan Arena and get some kills, you know, and put that. I want my kills to have like in a proper situation. CS:GO deathmatch is also different. That's not a real situation, or Valorant deathmatch. But do you think these are worth to put in a frag movie? Ever played Apex? I think that's the best background gameplay. I played Apex, but I think Battle Royale it takes too much time for me to get good highlights. You know, I might be killed 2 times in a row in a match, you know, from behind or something. So in CS:GO deathmatch, I can get good highlights in an hour, or 30 minutes. In 30 minutes I can get highlights for 1 video for sure. So yeah, and in Quake Live, I can play like 5 duels and get good highlights. And those duels are also competitive gameplay, you know. But I think the best way to have highlights is just, you know, CS:GO. The quality is gonna be bad, by the way, because it's in a preview. But CS:GO deathmatch is like the best, and Valorant deathmatch is one of the better ones to have in your video. I think a combo of all games you play is next. It's nice. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I'll try to keep it so that there is Valorant, CS:GO, and Quake champions in every video. There will be at least Valorant and CS:GO, because I think it's... I've had too much CS:GO in some videos, and I've had too little gameplay content in some videos, and, you know, stuff like that. Oh, by the way, I just realized something. Let's see how much of this... Brandon Taylor intro gameplay B-roll. Yeah, I've skipped sort of doing the intro B-roll because it requires so much time for me, so I've just skipped it, you know. You no longer play Call of Duty. No, Call of Duty is boring for me. It has always been boring for me. And yeah, especially since I quit professionally. Even when I played professionally, it was boring. I didn't like the game at all, so yeah, I don't really play it that much. I played Warzone at some point quite a bit and got tired of it. But yeah, I think I'm pretty much done with the stream, guys. I will be maybe streaming on the weekend, Saturday, or I won't stream on Friday. I will maybe stream on Saturday. Let's see about Sunday and next week. But the Mallow Wireless video, the podcast should be uploaded today. The Mallow Wireless will be uploaded on the weekend. And then next week I'm not sure what I'm gonna do. Maybe top 5 or something. I will see about that. But yeah, thank you guys for hopping in, and yeah, the next top podcast episode might be next Tuesday also. So, and it's gonna be with BF Sirius if he can make it. So, could be interesting for you guys if you follow the aim training kind of scene and good aimers and stuff like that. But yeah, thank you guys for hopping in and joining me, and yeah, see you